Okay, so this is my how-to video on making your own kefir. So you see I've got a jar of kefir here. You can see it's pretty thick. Now this was actually sitting in the refrigerator in the boat for a couple of weeks. So it's probably not the best flavor, probably too sour. But anyway, this is how we process this now. Number one, the cap has to be loose, right? Because it's creating gas when it ferments. So you see it's a little separated, just gonna shake it all up. And to shake it up, I need to tighten the cap. So I'm actually gonna try and put the foam down here. Hold on a second. Okay, can you see me? All right, so I'm gonna tighten that up. Give it a good shake, and there we've got a delicious, beautiful, creamy kefir there. Undo that lid. There she is. All right. Now, when you strain the kefir, always use a plastic strainer. You can just use a plastic handheld strainer. I happen to have this lid that goes on here. No biggie. Either way, put that on there to strain. Gonna get another jar to put that in. Here we go. Here's my clean jar. All right. Just pour that right out. You see how that comes out there? How beautiful that is? Look at that. Magnificent. All right. That is your kefir. I'm going to take a taste here. It's delicious. It's delicious. 2 weeks didn't bother it at all. Alright, so I'm going to put the lid on there. That's going to go in my fridge. That's going to be breakfast and lunch tomorrow. Now, we need to make more kefir. So, whatever is left in the bottom of your jar, that's your starter. That's what you're going to make the rest of your kefir with. Some people like to rinse this out. You know, if the jar's been hanging around a long time, you can rinse it out. So what you do is, you rinse it out. You can rinse it out with some of your fresh milk, or you can rinse it out with your spring water. Don't use tap water. Tap water has chlorine in it. Chlorine kills stuff. So we don't want to do that. All right. Give that a little shake. And pour it through our strainer. You see those kefir grains there? You see those? That's your kefir grains. Anyway, that goes right back in there. In the alternative, you could put it into a clean jar. Just, we're going to rinse the jar with milk or with spring water so that any residual soap or whatever is out of there. And then you just put some milk in it. Now I've got quite a bit of kefir. That's a lot of kefir, right? That's enough to make a full quart like this. You're going to start with considerably less, like maybe make a pint, okay? And it's going to take a couple of days at room temperature for that pint to form. So here we go. I'm just going to put this milk in there. Okay, there's my kefir. And I'm going to put this jar on there, on the cover on the jar. Not tight, loose. Because gas is going to be formed. You don't want the jar to explode, okay? And you can give it a little shake every now and then. In the old days, kefir was put in leather bags and hung in the doorway. So that as you went through the doorway, you give it a tap and help shake it up a little bit, because the milk tends to clump around the kefir grains as the kefir is being formed. But I know plenty of people who just let it sit. I have a friend who actually lets it sit open on a counter, piece of paper towel over it. In the morning, takes a spoon and just eats it with a spoon. So there's your kefir. Let that sit at room temperature for until it's starting to thicken. And then what I find is put it in the fridge and let it finish off in the fridge at lower temperature. You get a real nice thick mixture that doesn't go sour, too sour. It's always going to be sour. It is fermented milk after all. So that's your kefir. All right. Clean your strainer. You're ready for your next batch.